So first off, I got a cold, so y'all gotta excuse me if I'm a little choppy. But shout out to Nick J and Boxiana, the Queens of the Ring, for getting this news. Now, Team Errol Spence broke the news and said that Errol Spence will be fighting Terence Crawford in 2023, and that's for sure. Book it. Now, we're gonna talk about in this video what exactly was said, who said it, and now we know that Errol Spence is fighting Keith Thurman next because Keith Thurman is his mandatory and he has to defend that WBC strap versus Keith Thurman, so he will be staying at 147 pounds. Before we get into this video and break everything down, make sure that y'all hit my like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed to the channel. So yeah, what's up with it, y'all? So here's another one. Now recently, we've been hearing a lot from Terence Crawford, and it don't sound like Bud wants to fight with Errol Spence at all. He's doing everything but saying, let's make the fight. He's making every excuse why the fight shouldn't happen. Talking about his accolades, talking about what he's done, talking about how he's accomplished undisputed and Errol Spence hasn't. But we'll get into all of that later on in the video. But with all that being said, Team Errol Spence, they saying now that the fight will happen in 2023. Frank Martin, and like I said, salute to Boxiana and Nick J, the Queens of the Ring, for coming out with this news via Frank Martin. Frank Martin did an interview, and recently he said, yo, I don't want to say too much, but the fight is going down in 2023. He even said that he will be on the undercard of Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. Now, we know that Frank Martin has a fight coming up pretty soon in December with Michelle Rivera. So that's going to be a hell of a fight. You know, Frank Martin was looking to be on the undercard of Errol Spence and Terence Crawford if they had a fight in November like they were slated to fight. But we all know that Terence Crawford decided to chunk the deuce to the PBC and the Errol Spence fight, and he ran off, and now he's fighting David I've been sneezing. You know, everybody knows the story behind that, so I don't need to get into, deep details of that. But like I said, Errol Spence and his team, as of last week, they still saying that, hey, yeah, he is going to spin the block. They looking to have the fight. You know, they've talked to Al Heyman, and yeah, they're going to deal with Terence Crawford again because Errol Spence wants to fight that bad. So what Errol Spence wants, he gets. You feel what I'm saying? That's why the fight is going to happen. Or that's why Frank Martin and Errol Spence team feel the fight is going to happen. Now, Frank Martin, he's around Errol Spence pretty much every day because they training together right now. Of course, they're not sparring each other, but they are training together. They both trained by Derek James. And yeah, they tight. Frank Martin is promoted by Errol Spence. That is Errol Spence's fighter. So, of course, Errol Spence is telling him, certain things that he thinks is going to happen and certain things that he wants to do. And one of the things that he wants to do still is he wants to fight Terence Crawford. But see, although Frank Martin is saying that the fight is definitely happening for sure in 2023, to me, that's Frank Martin and Errol Spence's team being optimistic. It takes two to tangle. And like I said earlier in this video, Terence Crawford been doing his rounds and doing his interviews, and he said everything but let's make the fight happen. Terence Crawford is completely backpedaling right now. Terence Crawford doesn't want to fight. If you listen to any of his recent interviews, he's telling you why the fight won't happen, why the fight shouldn't happen. And he's also telling you why he doesn't need the Errol Spence fight no more, right? All of a sudden now he doesn't need the Errol Spence fight. And if you listen to him, it's nothing but jealousy, envy, and hatred coming out of his mouth, right? Every time they ask him something about his career, he brings up Errol Spence and why his career has been better than Errol Spence. His resume is better than Errol Spence. His accolades is better than Errol Spence's accolades. His signature fights is better than Errol Spence's signature fights, and so on and so on, which is all a bunch of bull, right? But if you ask Terence Crawford, he actually believes this in his own brain. In his own mind, he believes this. Now Terence Crawford is actually talking about himself in third person, like a real narcissist. You know what I'm saying? But what he's letting everybody know is he's on some nana boo boo shit. Errol Spence will never become undisputed because I'll never fight Errol Spence, and he needs to fight me to be undisputed. That's basically what he's been telling everybody. Oh, Errol Spence will never know what it feels like to be undisputed. He doesn't know what it feels like to be the king of the mountain. He doesn't know what it feels like to be number one pound for pound. He doesn't know what it feels like to have all 4 belts. But I do. Yeah, guys. Look at me, guys. I've had all 4 belts. I was undisputed. Look at me, guys. I beat Julius Ndongo. Yeah, I was the king of the mountain. Julius Ndongo was a very tough competitor, guys. Errol Spence didn't do that. He never beat Julius Ndongo to become undisputed, guys. You know, this is Terence Crawford lately. So, with that being said, I don't think the fight is going to happen. Yeah, Team Errol Spence, they're being optimistic, thinking that the fight is still going to happen. But if you listen to Terence Crawford, he has no intentions on making the fight happen. Terence Crawford just did an interview and said he don't need to become undisputed at 147. That's not one of his goals no more because he already did it at 140. He says at one point, I wanted to be undisputed at 147, but now, yeah, I'm not really worried about it. I've already done it. But you know what? Errol Spence hasn't. He'll never know what it feels like. You know what I'm saying? His whole goal is to watch Errol Spence's whole career, right? Be able to point the finger and say, nah, boo-boo, you can't become undisputed because you got to fight me to become undisputed. And in order to fight me, y'all got to basically kiss my ass and give me everything I don't deserve. See, Terence Crawford is going to do this. When Errol Spence spins the block and they try to go back to the negotiation table with Terence Crawford, he's going to be 50 times more difficult than what he was the first time because he doesn't want to fight. And in his mind, he thinks this BLK Prime shit is really going to turn out to be something. But he's soon going to find out on December the 10th. He's soon going to find out on December the 10th. And also, Terence Crawford, he's saying in every interview that, I don't even need to fight anymore. Terence Crawford has made smart investments. The smart investments that I made, yeah, the nigga's talking like Floyd Mayweather. We know that he been hanging out with Floyd Mayweather a lot. At one point, I don't know if he is up until right now, but I know at one point, he was talking about that he had been hanging with Floyd Mayweather a lot. His nephew and his family were saying, yeah, he talked to Floyd every day. So now he's starting to talk like Floyd. Like this nigga really thinks he's Floyd. Listen to his last interviews that he's done. He's starting to sound just like Floyd. So with all that being said, he don't want to fight. You ain't never heard Terence Crawford one time in none of these interviews that he been doing say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to beat David Avanesian. And then when I beat David Avanesian, let's go back to the negotiation table and see what Errol Spence and Al Heyman is talking about. Let's try to make this fight happen. No, you haven't heard him say that shit one time because he don't want to fight. But with all that being said, Errol Spence, as of last week, him and his team feel that they still want to revisit the Terence Crawford fight. That's the fight that Spence wants. Spence don't want to leave 147 until he becomes undisputed. So Errol Spence's plan as of right now is to fight Keith Thurman because he's forced to fight Keith Thurman. For you niggas talking about, he said he'd never fight Keith Thurman. Why is he fighting Keith Thurman? He don't have no choice to fight Keith Thurman because that's what he has to do in order to revisit a Terence Crawford fight to become undisputed. But see, the thing is, I hope that Errol Spence opens up his eyes and just say, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead and relinquish these titles. I'm going to move up to 154 because I can see with the recent interviews that Crawford is doing that he's not going to fight me. You heard him just ask Terence Crawford, have you spoke to Errol Spence and his team? No? What for? I don't have no reason to talk to them. Why? No, I haven't talked to them. You know what I'm saying? No, he don't have no reason to speak to Errol Spence because he don't want to fight. So it is what it is. Errol Spence wants to smoke for himself. But Terence Crawford and his team, they don't want to fight. They don't have no intentions on making the fight happen. Their whole thing now is going on a campaign to try to make everybody believe how great he's done in his career, the great fights that he's done in his career, the great accolades that he's done in his career. So he's done everything in his career, and Errol Spence haven't done nothing yet. And Errol Spence needs to fight with him, and he don't need to fight with Errol Spence because he's great already. That's his whole thing now, going on a whole campaign, trying to fix people's brains to believe that shit. He don't want to fight. Y'all can think what y'all want to think. Y'all hating ass, weird ass niggas can get in my comments, cry and try to protect Terence Crawford all you want to. Everybody that's real, y'all know what it is. Anyway, hit my like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment in the comment section, and let me know what y'all think about this. Do y'all still believe the fight is gonna happen in 2023? Or do y'all believe that Terence Crawford don't want to fight? Drop a comment, hit the like button, and y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.